People scare better when they're dying. What is up, folks? Welcome to the Spaghetti Western Jamboree. Tonight we are going to be talking about the Bud Spencer Terrence Hill classic. Trinity is still my name. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. Spank that like button if it's not a bother. Also, ring a ding ding dong, the bell for notifications, hit the subscribe. Yeah, I always get those things out of order. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, yes, tonight we are talking about the great duo, the Team Supreme, Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill. Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill have a really interesting history. They're really one of the all-time great on-screen duos. And the interesting thing about duos, that is to say, you know, actors that have a certain chemistry that end up doing a series of films together, it's something that can't be manufactured, right? It's kind of like, you know, Hollywood would love to put that shit in a can if they could, but they can't. It's something that just has to happen on its own. And in this case, they became really like practically the biggest movie stars in the world, everywhere except America. It's kind of like how Jackie Chan was like the biggest movie star in the world, except for America. Yeah, same thing with Bud Spencer, Terrence Hill. But their fandom has never ceased. Their movies, of course, are available, widely available. You can click on a link that is below in the description. It will take you to a absolutely 100% free, unedited, uncensored version of the movie. So go check it out if you haven't, because, you know, and if you're new to Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill, it's actually not a bad place to start with this movie. And I mean, it will definitely suck you in and make you a Bud and Terrence fan. Anyway, enough of my yakking. Let me bring on my boy, your boy, Matt. What's going on, Matt?
What up, man? How's it going?
It's going okay, man. It's going okay. Just hanging out, reading lots of comics today.
Yeah, me too, man. Did you see that? Oh, wait, no. Well, the new Conan book, man, Battle of the Blackstone, had a Solomon Kane versus Conan. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I read that. Was a couple days
you know
ago.
who my money is
Yesterday.
on.
Oh yeah, of course, man. 100%, man. Yeah,
Nobody's more hardcore than Kane.
Borak had some pretty good moments in there, and
Damn.
pretty dope book. It was like issue number 2, and then the next issue's got a Liam Sharp cover.
Fuck.
So that looks pretty sick. And that's just the mini series because they're blowing up. They're keeping it small and conservative. Now they're blowing up more, so they're doing that mini series and then the Savage Sword and the ongoing. So
fuck yeah,
reviews on that shit's pretty dope.
Well, it's just weird and it's crazy because like Robert E. Howard now is blowing up and getting his propers kind of the way that Lovecraft did. Like when I discovered Lovecraft in high school, he was like a cult writer, right?
Yeah.
That's to say only fucking like weirdos and sick freaks like me knew who H.P. Lovecraft was, much less actually read his stuff. And now he's, a literary titan,
Lovecraft country, man.
And fucking now, like Robert E. Howard is kind of catching up, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see because
slowly.
It's long overdue and well deserved.
Yeah, he's all over fucking YouTube too. And hail the chat, hail Brian. Mark Greenwald,
James
Hurley.
Mark, thanks for hanging out. James Hurley says, Brian, don't watch the new Salem's Lot movie. It's dog shit. Really?
Oh.
I can't imagine that. They sat on that movie for what, like 2 or 3 years?
Sheesh.
What up, Preston? What's going on,
man?
What
you up to?
Hanging out, man.
Wolverine versus Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was really good.
It's all right.
I gotta say, like Gambit, like that dude was really good as Gambit.
He was.
Yeah. Like
he even pulled up.
Channing Tatum pulled up a decent fucking and that surprised the hell out of him because here comes the Cajun accent. It was a decent rendition of a Cajun accent. Like it wasn't bad at all.
I guess he's from there. Like that's his family.
Name myself here.
Yeah, his family's from there, I guess. So like that.
Is it really?
Yeah, I saw him on like
Holy
fucking
shit.
I didn't know
late
that.
night talk show. I was like, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
dude, it was
his dad's side
good.
thing. And he broke it down. It's like it's not specifically Cajun. It's this and this from Louisiana. And like, oh shit, okay. And he's been working on it for 10 years, I guess.
And the thing is like he's not even like a real actor. He's like more like a male model, like a Jared Leto kind of guy
too. And so I seen him play Gambit.
And then he was like, I was like, holy shit, he was like the biggest surprise in that movie.
And I'm surprised.
Off with the show, I want to just welcome the new platforms that we are broadcasting to. We are now on Rumble tonight. We are also on Pilled.net.
Hell yeah!
And how this goes, this show's format may change a little bit because things are a little different over on Pilled. We're gonna feel it out. We're gonna see what's up. But tonight we're gonna this is what we do. We show clips from a movie. We talk about it. We crack jokes, stuff like that. But on Pilled, we've come to know that you can show the whole freaking movie. So we may do something a little different in the future and actually like give you guys what you really deserve. And that's us cracking on a whole freaking movie. Right?
Well, just being able to show clips and not getting fucking ganked and having to stop the fucking clip every fucking 30 seconds and talking over it and all that shit. What up, Timothy? Great to see you. What up, Great to see you.
I want to say this. I did see a movie and it was a huge disappointment.
Oh, which one?
So any juggalos in the house over here? Or?
I don't think so. I don't really attract the juggalo audience.
Because that's really Clown Posse. So they made an Insane Clown Posse movie, right?
Oh, what?
And dude, don't get excited. And
made a bunch of movies.
Well, no. This is a serious Insane Clown Posse movie. They actually filmed it in my hometown, Chalmette, Louisiana.
Oh, shit.
And it is as woke as you can possibly get, dude.
Whoa. A woke?
Insane woke clown posse.
A woke Insane Clown Posse movie. Like the dude, like he comes out, he's like, I'm transgender. You have to, and it gets real serious, like no jokes or anything. This is not Insane Clown Posse. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
It's all hella awkward. That's funny.
No, it was terrible, dude. It was horrible.
Mark Greenwell says, didn't Bud Spencer play the prison guard who roughed up Eli Wallach in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? No, actually. That was not Bud Spencer. That was, oh, God, I'm like blanking on his name. You see, what I need my copy of Any Gun Can Play. That book is one-stop shopping. Like there are a few books about spaghetti westerns. That is the one I always recommend to people because it actually has a glossary in the back for character actors where you can like look up and look at their faces and you're like, oh, it's that guy. Right. And it'll give you his name and his, little short bio and like all the movies that they're in. Because that's the thing about the Spaghettis, man. They've reused a lot of actors, especially the stuntmen. My God. And there's like a bunch of them in tonight's movie. But man, by a close resemblance, well, yeah, I mean, he's like a big dude. I think that may have been, it wasn't Mario Brega. No. Well, I don't want to like get into that headspace where I like spend 20 minutes trying to remember the name of like some obscure character actor because I am that guy. I will fucking do that. If
we're all that guy.
Right? You go to IMDb or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Which is actually what I'm doing now, so I don't have to go over to my bookshelf. Although, of course, I always prefer getting information from books rather than from internet sources. Since internet sources can be a little shisty, a little less than reliable. Memory's not what it used to be, but it's usually pretty good for like useless shit, like remembering the names of obscure character actors. But Bud Spencer, I think was I'm trying to remember. I think he had a small role in one of the early Spaghettis, but pretty quickly he was like pushed to the forefront. The first movie that he was in that like as an lead role was God Forgives, I Don't. And his co-star was going to be Peter Martell. But Peter Martell broke his foot and at the last minute. So they had to get somebody. And who did they get? They got this guy who sort of looked like Franco Nero, who had been in one of the better Django ripoffs. Django Prepare a Coffin, it's called. Terrence Hill. And they played these characters named Cat Stevens. Yes, that's where the singer Cat Stevens got his name, was from that character from that movie. And Bud Spencer played a character named Huck. And that movie was so big, they went on to do 2 sequels. First sequel was Ace High, which they did with Eli Wallach. And that's phenomenal. And then they did Boot Hill, which is also really good. I think they made those movies with Duccio Tassari, if I remember correctly. But if you're a Bud and Terrence fan, go check those out. Those are great, but don't expect slapstick comedy because those are relatively straight westerns. But the thing is in that first movie, God Forgives, I Don't, there was just this crazy chemistry between the two of them. And once again, it's like chemistry. It's like you can't manufacture it. It's like how many of you like you guys have all seen movies where like you have like the romantic leads and they seem awkward together.
Like Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie or something.
Well, like Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci in Legend in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah,
right. That's a good example. And then the opposite would be David Thewlis and Fairuza Balk in The Island of Dr. Moreau, where it's they just had a chemistry together, and then when you found out later that they were fucking, you were like, oh yeah, figures. I always thought it must be the craziest thing. This is a total non sequitur, but there are a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, a chosen few whose parents met while making a movie. Imagine watching a movie and watching your mother and your father fall in love. That's got to be the craziest thing ever. Mark Dacascos, he fell in love with his co-star in the Crying Freeman movie, and they're still together to this day. I was trying to think of some of the other people, Malcolm McDowell and Ray Steenburgen on that H.G. Wells versus Jack the Ripper movie, time after time.
I heard a lot of those. Like there was a rumor, at least back in the 90s, that a lot of those sex scenes were actually real.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Can you imagine watching a movie with your parents and your parents are like, "Yeah, that's where I made you."
That's you don't. Well, that's the thing. It's like you're watching your parents falling in love. That's got to be awesome, but you don't need what the Freud referred to as the primal scene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If your parents met on
with two backs,
you might not want to watch that shit. you just might want to skip it, just to save yourself from damage.
Always thought it was kind of weird when people would film the birth too, and be like, "Hey, you want to see you coming into the world?" Like, no, not at all. That's
too metal. I can't. Yeah.
It's too metal. Yeah, thank you. It's like fucking
too mental is what it is. That's crazy.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh yeah, with all the blood and shit and fucking
and the mucus and the screaming and the needles.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hard pass.
Hard pass.
And the dad's over there. No. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I want to see the baby coming into the world.
I'm like, throw the curtain up.
Honey, I'm never going down on you again. Don't ever expect head from me ever again. Oh my god. Yeah, but also
husband.
It's like a live performance of Aliens.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Isn't that supposed to come out of your chest?
Right.
This is like an odd little segue, but I remember watching a movie by Stan Brakhage called Window Water Baby, in which he filmed the birth of one of his children. And Stan Brakhage was like this white trash kind of lower middle class filmmaker who's like one of the great all-time like art film directors, right? And I remember seeing that with an audience in college, and the audience was pissed. They were pissed. They were fucking angry.
Why?
Well, because it destroyed their illusions about childbirth. Because it was like raw, uncensored. It was just like they were fucking pissed. I'm just
I could see it being raw and people being like, puking in the aisle or something like that, but getting pissed off because, oh no, I thought it was much more magical than that. What are you, crazy?
Yeah. Magic. I mean, I'm sure birth is exciting. I'm sure it's exciting.
No, it's not
exciting.
It's not. I grew up on a farm, so I guess I was predisposed to a lot of that stuff because you see animals giving birth all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like any illusion you had that pixies or storks delivered babies is just right out the fucking window.
No, it's not like
terrifying for me. I was like crying the whole time, for me it was like two of the most terrifying experiences of my life.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I would imagine.
But you had to do nothing. Like you didn't have a.
Look,
your job was finished.
Maybe I'm sorry I did this to you.
The complication factors for mine.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean,
see that.
It used to be 1/3 of women died in childbirth. Right now, that's not the case so much anymore. But when it comes to the developed world, we're not.
I was going to say that's back in the day when they actually just walked out into a field and came back with a baby, though, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. But no, I could imagine. I could imagine being fucking scared out of my fucking wits. Jesus, man. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
I was bored. I was like, I was reading comics. I was like, get this over with. I got shit.
Get the show on the road.
Get to the chase. Come on now.
We all know how the story ends. Come on.
Oh man, Jesus, man. Yeah. Not a pretty picture to be sure. But anyway, So you guys are like both of you, like all of you have seen My Name is Trinity, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. You're
Yes.
not.
Yes, and yes.
You're not going to be completely lost if you go into this movie. What's great about this movie, though, is that it opens with their home situation. What is that crackling?
That's Preston.
Hey, what are you talking about?
You? Yeah, you know what? Let me mute that bastard. All right, I don't hear any crackling now.
Hello?
I don't hear any crackling.
I'm absolutely not crackling. You're crackling still?
Hey, you can just unmute yourself. What the fuck?
Absolutely.
What good is the
Do
mute
that
button?
anytime I want.
Can't mute people and keep them.
I do what I want.
You adjust
But one of the things I love about this movie is that when it opens, you're getting a view into like you basically meet their family, right?
Yeah,
You meet
like
their mom and their dad, and their mother is like a retired ho.
Retired whore, yeah.
Because the ratio in the Old West of honest women to ho-ho-hos was like 10-1 or something like that.
Yeah, but back in the Old West, I mean, it's the Wild West for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like how honest is a woman going to stay back then?
Right.
Well,
right.
It's not even that. It's just like it's also rough, right? You're talking about like the frontier and all that shit.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like it's not an easy time in the Wild West.
No. So if you were a guy, you could go literally like years without seeing a woman, right?
Well, that's why Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, dude, I mentioned this before. People were all mad about that movie. How dare they
That's what I'm talking about.
Cowboy. But it is a fact that the term cowboy basically back then was the equivalent of the F word. The bundle of
it's kind of like
fire.
It's kind of like I sure am horny. Brian, you ready to go rustle some cattle or what?
Yeah, off in the bushes over there.
That's what I can see that. Like, come here, cowboy.
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
So not only was there
boy,
a ton of not only was there a ton of situational homosexuality going on in the Old West.
There's a ton of bestiality going on too.
This is a lot.
Utter.
Well, dude, think about it. You're on a trail for 6 months with nothing but dudes. You're working in a mine, and all day, every day, you're just looking at a dude's ass.
Well, there's a thing about you remember. Like how they're known as the dull-witted hillbilly or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, yeah, and they don't have much smarts. Well, they attributed that to hookworms because they would walk around barefooted when they were kids and stuff like that. So hookworms would get in there, nest in their brains, and cause them to lose IQ points like crazy.
Oh my
I
god!
always thought it was the inbreeding.
So, that everybody else thought that too, but they're starting to say like it was like the hookworms that got through it because hookworms go through your feet, right?
Yeah,
and they're saying like that contributed to a lot of the like sleeping with the sisters because they weren't smart enough to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I don't know. Or they wasn't smart enough to have those morals kicked in.
Well, it's a problem again, actually, in certain parts of the American South. Yeah. It's kind of like when I found out. Yeah, it's kind of like when I found out that they're like tuberculosis was an issue in like the inner cities. I was like, tuberculosis?
Isn't that like 400 years old? No.
Yes, like old diseases are making big comebacks in America because we.
Well, I remember in Australia they had a guy that was caught, and he kept his daughters and all the kids he had with his daughters in their basement. And his wife was always supposed to pose as the doting wife, but she was actually part of it.
Like that dude Fritzl or whatever. That shit's scary. In Germany or whatever the fuck.
Really? I never heard about that.
That guy was like, he had like a daughter that he like fathered a child with his daughter. Like and then his wife didn't even know about it, and it was underneath the house for like 20 years.
Oh my God, that's like
you ever heard about that guy, Fritzl?
It's like Children Under the Stairs.
Oh, Josef Fritzl.
Yeah,
oh
like
my
that.
God, yeah, German homeboy. Oh God,
Fucking
yeah,
scary looking motherfucker.
dude's a fucking fiend. Yeah,
he's a fiend, bro.
Scary,
Jesus Christ.
scary shit, man. Scary shit.
Like having kids. I don't even know how that's a thing, dude.
Some barbarian shit.
I'm saying, like, I don't even think that's barbarian shit. Like, that is some crazy, whacked out shit. That's like the most evil thing I could possibly think of. You know what I'm saying?
It's something out of a horror movie.
No. I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the movie Barbarian, not Conan. Barbarian. There's a horror movie called Barbarian. You haven't seen Barbarian
I've
yet?
seen that. Yeah, that's the one where they had these savage like people living under the house, right? In like caves.
The one.
Shit.
Yeah. The one lady.
Yeah.
Jump in real quick and say hi to the 27 people watching on YouTube.
I thought she was the mother. And they had like a couple of
people.
like children living under there. Oh no, she was making them nurse or something.
Yeah, she was nursing them. Yeah, that shit was sick.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. It was nuts.
Fucking gross.
She's like, drink it. Just fucking drink it.
Fucking drink it, and it's all nasty. The nipples got all this fucking hair on it and shit. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie.
It kept twisting.
It was good. I have to admit that. That was a pretty good movie.
We got some people watching over on Pilled too, Brian. Blonde BLQ was over there. She said, hello. She needs a quarter. She needs a quarter.
Who needs a quarter?
Who needs a quarter?
Blonde BLQ on Pilled.
Oh,
we got people watching over there too.
I give you one. I give
people
you
watching everywhere tonight.
Over the internets. Brian, thoughts on Joker 2 being a total abomination like the Haunting remake? I can't imagine anything being as bad as the fucking Jan de Bont's remake of The Haunting. I don't have any thoughts on the new Joker movie because I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Hard pass
Some
for me.
people say it's terrible. Mark Kermode actually gave it a good review.
I don't know if this Joker should be in the Batman universe, to be quite honest. Like,
It is
does it feel like, you know?
It's not
I don't know.
a superhero movie or a super villain movie. It's a musical, guys.
Yeah, it's
a
It's
musical.
fantastic. It's not my wheelhouse.
yeah.
Well, the idea of even doing a sequel is just a pure cash grab.
It's horrible.
Yeah, totally.
It's freaking horrible. Horrible.
If I want to watch that, I'd watch Taxi Driver and the even better version, Falling Down.
Right. Or no, that's a controversial choice right there.
That one just destroys
Nothing's better than
all of
Taxi
them.
Driver.
Oh, it destroys Taxi Driver.
Oh, no way, dude.
Right?
But
I tried
King of
to be like-
Comedy is another one that people really ignore.
Yeah, that's
right?
the main one.
That's basically the people that thought that Joker was like the greatest movie ever are like millennials and Zoomers that hadn't seen either Taxi Driver or The King of Comedy. So
I thought it was a decent movie. I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely wasn't like in the DC universe.
No, it was like an Elseworlds, which is fine, but only do one of those movies. You
No,
know?
I did watch the first episode of The Penguin, and I thought that was really good. Like that was
good,
badass, dude.
That was good. Fucking what's his face? Why am I blanking on his name? The guy who plays the Penguin.
Dude, he's really good, dude. Like really good. Yeah.
Well, he's just been kind of like stepped
It's a dude
over.
from
Colin Farrell.
Total Recall. Yeah.
Total
He
Recall
is unrecognizable.
No, they put a ton of makeup on him.
You could watch that entire series and never guess that's
never
him.
know.
Pretty much. Like I was looking at him the whole time. I was like, "Who is this motherfucker?" I recognize those eyes. I recognize those fucking eyes.
So I got a hot take, dude.
Yeah.
Total Recall and Fright Night. Both.
Yeah.
They were both good. They couldn't hold a candle to the originals, but they're both fucking good for what.
Oh no, they're good. Yeah, and wasn't he in the?
Have to do a short of that.
I don't even remember anything about the Fright Night remake, and I haven't seen the Total Recall remake.
I gotta watch Total Recall again.
And it's very underworldy because it's the same director.
I know.
It cannot hold a candle.
Kind of why I haven't watched it.
It can hold a candle, but for what they are, they're pretty dope movies.
I just wish that if
Antoine Yelchin, you know, like they do great in there.
I just like if they were gonna do a remake of Total Recall, I'd be like, well, then do the David Cronenberg version, right? See if Cronenberg's still interested. Like that would be interesting. That I would want to see, right? Kind of like, you know, if Jodorowsky got to do his version of Dune, I would watch that. Watch the shit out of that.
Like neither
But
of
of course,
like
they
remakes,
just remake shit because they know that it's going to be. It's like, well, if it made money back then, it'll make money now. And
that's not always true. Like,
Yep.
you take a look at you take a look at
RoboCop
the Pro
would have stopped that shit, man. The RoboCop remake ended that fucking gravy train.
Poltergeist was trash too. Did not like that.
I didn't even know that they made a remake of Poltergeist.
Polter what? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought it was garbage.
We'll see what's up with James Hurley said that Salem's Lot was trash. I still want to check that out though.
Oh, I'll watch it.
I'm gonna peep it out.
I'll watch it for sure.
Like it's at the movies or is it streaming?
It's streaming right now. It came out at midnight.
It was supposed to be a theatrical film, but evidently it wasn't up to snuff. They realized that they had a turkey on their hands. And so rather than lose money for putting like $20 million advertising into it and releasing it in theaters for it only to bomb, they were like, let's just release it just like straight to streaming. It's probably the right idea. But then again, I'm not a fan, but I know a lot of people like House of a Thousand Corpses, and that was one of those movies.
I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that great. House of a Thousand Corpses was like a B movie. I didn't think it was as good.
And not even like a really good one.
Not really.
Because I consider myself a little bit of a B movie connoisseur, and one of the things that you love about low budget movies, just as pure cinema, is that they're rough around the edges and they're not smooth and they're not polished.
Well, the end of was it House of Thousand Corpses where they had the end of it where they had fucking Dr. Evil in there, like cutting somebody up or some shit like that.
Dr. Satan.
Yeah, it was a remake.
Dr. Satan.
It was a remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And every movie that he's made since has mostly been a remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Well, why didn't they capitalize on Dr. Satan instead of fucking just
he was a
doing
cool
all that
character.
dumb shit?
There was a scene with Rosario Dawson with him, like as her and a nurse, like they captured him, and they cut it out of the movie. And she's a nurse in the hospital. I'm like, damn, you guys really should have, because they make comics afterwards. Like, and I had Captain Spaulding sign them and shit. Like, man, there's a lot of stuff you guys could have done with this. That would have been really original. The characters are cool, And
why would you cut Rosario Dawson out of your fucking movie, especially like that era Rosario Dawson? She's still fucking fly.
I think he just wasn't like really. I don't know. I think he had a lot of. I guess that movie sat around for a while at Universal and went through a lot of hell. He actually was going to do a Crow remake that was in the. I read it in the future. And
I read it. He wanted
Scott Glenn to play the main lead, I guess.
Yes. It was. You know what it was? It was actually a Vampire Hunter D movie.
Really? Was it really?
Yeah. It was a Vampire Hunter D movie, and he just retrofitted it to like kind of sorta fit it into like the Crow franchise, and like very, very clumsily. I remember reading that and being like, yeah, I see why this didn't get made. I mean, look, I love me some Vampire Hunter D, right? But then make a proper fucking Vampire Hunter D movie. Which
I'd rather they don't.
Right now, I don't want to see anything I care about fucked with.
Well, Japanese could tend to stay pretty true to whatever they do. So, yeah, if anybody's going to make it, let those motherfuckers make it. And I'll just read it in subtitle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they still dub shit.
I seen him on Howard Stern. He was talking about it like years ago. And he's like, yeah, you were going to make the Crow. They had you making the Crow, right? He's like, yeah, they wanted to, I wanted to do it in the future, with an old ass Crow. I wanted Scott Glenn, Then they kept wanting me to change it. A movie would come out, and they would have a buddy movie, and then they want me to make a buddy movie, and then another weekend something would come out.
They wanted Skeet Ulrich.
I remember
they wanted Skeet Ulrich. He's like, no, I want Scott Glenn. That would have been
amazing.
Rob Zombie, they had Rob Zombie in the studio, like Howard Studio, and they asked Rob Zombie to do take notes on a Crow movie and shit like that. And he gave him what he had, and he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking this," and they're like, "Well, we're kind of thinking a much younger, like teenage Crow, like something."
The Ulrich.
Yeah.
I don't think Rob Zombie would have did a great job, to be quite honest. But I mean, leaving it up to the studio is the worst fucking thing you can possibly do.
I would have took this shit over the shit that we just got like a month ago, though.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was horrible, dude.
I actually like his Halloween movies too. I like the Tyler Mane. He was pretty dope.
my buddy Chris, and by the way, Chris, if you're watching, listening, much love to you, man. He's still jacked up at home in a boot.
Well, you try to fuck a bull, and that's what happens.
This was actually, you got fucked up actually in a flood, believe it or not.
Okay, it was a flood.
But he actually kind of likes, I think, not so much Halloween, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah, it's like his Batman Returns. You know, how Burton returns into a Burton movie. That one's way more fucking zombie.
Yeah, but is that a good thing
for you? No, but
right.
Probably like even John Carpenter doesn't like him that size. You know, Michael Myers is supposed to be smaller and shit. But me, it's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I like it. You know, I think it's cool.
He also said that Rob Zombie lied about him. He said that Rob Zombie called him up and was like, "Hey, like I'm doing a remake of Halloween," and his advice was like, "Well, dude, make it yours, right? Like, don't try and repeat like what I did. Make it different, right?"
Yeah.
And then Rob Zombie said that his version was that Carpenter was like, "Yeah, and so," but he didn't like he kind of brushed him off. That he was
and they kind of hung up on him and shit.
Yeah, and then Rob, and Carpenter even, he was just like he lied about me. I don't understand. Like, why would he just fucking make something like that up about me? Because John Carpenter gives zero fucking fucks. He's one of those guys that, I mean, he's always been that kind of a guy, but he especially now that he's an older guy and he's no longer making films, he's just making music. Yeah, he really doesn't fucking give a fuck. And we'll
telling you,
his interviews
Hollywood. That's why.
Raw.
Yeah,
because really, Hollywood. That's why.
He's really liberal in his old age too.
Yes. Well, he always was. You know, he always was. He always had an innate mistrust, or even I would say hostility towards authority.
Well, I noticed that people, when they're young, they're liberal as fuck. Then they have kids, they turn conservative. General speaking, blanket statement, gray. And then when they get older, they kind of get liberal again. I see that happen to a lot of people.
I don't know. Well, me, when I was younger, it's because I never knew shit. You know,
exactly.
So I was like, oh no, dude, and then you believe everything you hear. You know what I'm saying? Then you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. It's kind of like Christianity, right? You like believe like purgatory and shit like that, and you're like, wait a minute,
Catholicism, actually, if you want to get specific. But yeah, I mean, asking questions is good, and questioning everything is good. But some people don't want you questioning shit. And
I always tell my kids to question everything. I was like, don't believe anything unless you can verify it.
Yep. Get some receipts.
Exactly.
Get some camera footage.
Yeah, you know me. I mean, I've always been a lefty. I still consider myself a lefty. It's just I consider myself dirtbag left. Right? So right now there's a civil war on the left between limousine liberals, also known as brunchers, also known as your basic shit libs is what we call them. Yeah. We call them shit libs, and they call us the dirtbag left because we just reject all of their fucking PC bullshit, all their pronoun bullshit, all of their fucking really just fucking, just fucking woke insanity.
Well, I remember this was only about a year or two ago when all that woke shit like kicked off. Like every liberal that I knew, and most of them like that were talking about it would just say like, "This ain't us. We don't believe that shit." About all the stuff these woke motherfuckers are saying. They're like, that is not liberalism.
Yes. No, I mean, it's like Pop says, I didn't move. I'm right where I always was. It's like, you motherfuckers moved. But you basically moved, and then you said, well, what are you doing over there? It's like, I'm right where I always was, motherfuckers. Yeah, it's,
but for me, though, it was like, he did like a Trump comment. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't give a fuck what you think about Trump, dude. Talk about your movies. I love you're one of the best directors of all time. You know what I mean? It's like, why you got to bring Trump into the equation right now? It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Most people are
After
going to vote.
what he's done in Georgia and Tennessee, like I can't see how anybody would have to talk bad about him. You know, like the president of Biden gave those people, the victims of a hurricane, like $750 and said, good luck.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the U.S. has to help these people out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've given like fucking other countries like billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? When they have a disaster. Yeah, the Ukraine, what were we at? $350 billion so far in those motherfuckers?
Yep.
And the only two people that actually went down there and made any type of difference was Elon Musk and Trump.
Exactly.
Smart.
It's just not a good time to talk politics like when they're in their shoes. It's just stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Like stick to the art, bro. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, asked his opinion. There's a big difference between being like, Trump, fuck that motherfucker, and being like full TDS, like Stephen King, right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Stephen King.
Burged out.
I used to until you fucking started doing it. It's like Jim Starlin, dude. It's like Jim Starlin's like cramming politics into his fucking art. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Why are you doing that?
Reading your comics to get away from that shit.
Exactly. It totally destroys escapism.
Like the Punisher creator, too. Conway, like, dude, shut the fuck. Like, come on, bro. You're a big pun creator, you know? Like, dude, you sound so fucking stupid right now.
Who is this?
Yeah.
The creator of the Punisher, Jerry Conway, fucking shut up.
Oh, man.
He's always whining about fucking bullshit.
Speaking of bullshit, we should talk about tonight's movie at some point.
What I like about these movies is they're fucking hilarious, but like they don't, you know, they don't have to use like crazy outlandish profanity and whatnot. You know what I mean? Just use classic comedy, you know, splats or, you know.
I was waiting for the nude scenes. I never seen enough nude scenes in there. It was really disappointing. Really disappointing.
Well, you know, Terrence Hill actually. Maybe I should bring that up before we look at the movie. He had a interview and where he said like Hollywood was calling and they wanted him to be an action movie star, and he said he decided to stay in Italy and just make these like slapstick comedies because he was just like, I just kind of like didn't want to make like brutal, violent movies. Now, you know me, I love some make-believe brutality and violence in my films.
Well, it's probably a smart move on his part because he probably dodged that Diddy bullet.
Yeah. Back then it was probably someone else, you know?
Have you seen what Terrence Hill looks like?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He's no longer with us. But fucking Terrence Hill looks amazing. He's in his 80s and he looks amazing. I remember like my ex, we were watching, this is like 10, 15 years ago, watching an episode of Don Matteo because, you know, in Italy, they don't make movies anymore, but they still make television. So he's doing this TV series where he's a priest, but he's also a like a detective, you know, solving murders. And shit like that. Don Matteo, it's called. And my ex was just like, holy shit, he looks good. Like he's a G-DILF. And
that's when she became the ex. Right there.
No. It's like you digging on Terrence Hill? That's cool.
I'm cool with that.
He's a man's man and a ladies' man at the same time.
He said, Uncle Hill.
Yeah. But what I love in this movie is that, well, I mean, first there's the beginning with the fucking beans, right? Where fucking those poor fucking outlaws get fucking jacked.
Yeah, I love that.
They get fucking
so
jacked.
Scandalous, dude. The parents are so fucking
in a fucking row, back to back fuckings by the we never even really get their last names, do we? We never we get to meet their ma and their pa. Although I think they may have different fathers, if you know what I mean. Like I always got the feeling that they were half brothers.
Right.
Oh, you think the Johns were left a little gift for the family?
Hey, it's how a lot of people you know, were conceived.
This movie's laugh out loud funny, folks that haven't seen any of these Trinity movies.
Oh my God!
You'll be smacking, your knee will be bruised from watching this.
Oh,
it's not funny.
Well, that's the thing. Like Timothy Olsen says, looks like a fun Western.
Oh, it's a feel good Western, man. Like the first one, and now the second one, and it's pretty popular. Like Gunslinger Spawn did an homage cover for the cover of this, where he's lounging like Trinity, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Fucking gold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also these movies are world famous.
Yeah,
they actually used to show this on. They actually used to show these movies on TV when I was a kid. Which, really? Like I said, like they didn't show a lot of spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
But the ones that they showed were, of course, the Dollars trilogy, Duck You Sucker, they under the title Fistful of Dynamite, and these. You know, Trinity, Trinity's still my name, and of course, my name is Trinity. And there were like one or two others I can't think of offhand, but you know, no Django, no Sartana, you know, none of that cool shit. Like we had to wait a long time just to get access to that stuff, you know. And it was like on, like I said, VHS tapes that were like rips of like Japanese laser discs, you know, with the hard-coded Japanese subtitles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, hurry up with them.
He's such a dirty motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he is. Overalls.
If you got the money to pay, I'll give you a plate of beans.
Oh wait, I think I fucked up. This is from
part one.
Yeah, it's from part one. That's from part one. That's not the clip I was looking for.
I don't remember him eating beans. I remember him fucking up a bird though with his family, you know.
Oh no! Well, I mean, there are those like it opens with these outlaws making beans.
Yeah,
and the beans are about done. And
Bambino steals the first batch, and Terrence steals the second batch.
Yeah, so they get jacked. They get jacked twice. Back to back jackets. Let me see where the hell is that fucking clip. But yeah, fucking that scene's fucking funny as hell. And then we get to meet his family. Now their father here. Their father here.
There's mom.
Their father's played by Harry Carey Jr., who was in a lot of old westerns, like a ton of old westerns.
Yeah.
And so if you were watching this in 1971 and you had grown up seeing a lot of westerns, like you would recognize him, like in this scene. You'd be like, "Oh shit, it's Harry Carey Jr."
Huh?
Hey, what is it?
Don't really know. Was flying around here the other day.
Looks like an eagle.
Might be.
Not me.
They just start tearing this fucking turkey apart.
Fucking that bird up.
And they're eating like they're in prison or something, right? Like,
Welcome to the Wild West.
Like have you ever had dinner with somebody that's either been in prison or in the military?
You talking about people that eat their food like this?
Like that.
Like kind of like hover over it, you know?
Yeah.
Walk by him or something.
Right. Or I had a friend that had been been in prison, and I don't think I ever saw the guy eat. I would just sort of look away, and then suddenly his plate would be empty. It was crazy. But that's totally what their life here. So you understand that these guys grew up as like complete.
Eat your own food, damn it!
He's just a gizzard.
Fucking scandalous.
He's just a gizzard.
Like eyeing each other suspiciously.
I like when he
eyeball my food.
Watch what he does.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Watch what he does with his hand here.
Quit looking at my food.
He covers it. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I go over there and eat dinner with him. That big old thing of whiskey. Big old coffee mug of whiskey. Give me a drumstick.
I've also known
about the Run Fest. The Ren festivals, you get those big ass turkey legs.
Oh, yeah. Like medieval
Those
times.
things are delicious. That and chocolate covered bacon.
Oh,
chocolate covered bacon.
Delicious.
Oh, dude, don't knock it till you try.
I'm not knocking
That's
it.
all
I'm not knocking it. I'm saying I don't think I'd fuck with
It's
that.
salty sweet, man.
It's the
salty
absolute worst thing for you, but it's delicious.
Oh, love it.
Damn.
Down our gullets, and may the good Lord.
Oh, leave him be, will you? He's probably eating now just like us.
He better protect you.
He just poured it all fucked up.
Yeah.
Straight whiskey.
A total rock gut.
Right.
Give me back my bird.
Give me back my bird.
So you know that they've basically grown up as like complete degenerates.
Yeah. 100%.
Which is, not surprising, but it explains them as characters. Because the whole relationship between Trinity and Bambino is that Bambino wants to be just like an outlaw, like his father, right? Like their father says, it's just like, Trinity, I don't know what that fuck's wrong with you, bro. Like from what I've heard, you're like really good with like you're this amazing ace card player, but I never see you with the deck.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And you're great with a gun, right? Like he's referred to as the devil's right hand.
Yeah.
So he's like literally like the fastest gun in the West.
Dude, they come up with some really cool names in these spaghetti westerns.
Yeah,
The devil's right hand. Like, oh my god, dude, it's amazing. That's
Gotta
like the
jump
best
in
thing
here
ever.
real quick and say thank you to Blonde BLQ for the gold pills, for the cookie. We love you.
Oh, I don't even know what those are. Is that like some kind of
You will.
currency? Okay, no, that's cool. Hey, man, look, we are all into having a new audience, having new people hanging out. That is fine. That is fine by us. I'm looking for another clip here. Let me see.
It's gotta be my favorite scene though, when he's dealing out the cards, the card game, and then when he pulls a gun, he's like, give him a double shot, that way, of whiskey, that way he doesn't feel when I shoot him,
Oh God. Well, I was gonna save that shit. I was gonna save that shit for later, but you know what? We might as well fucking get into it, because this is not just like the best scene in the movie. This is like one of the best scenes ever.
Right? I was thinking the same thing. And these guys did 18 movies together, him and Bambino.
Yes.
It's funny looking up their name, like on Wikipedia. I was doing that last night, and like, oh, they got some cool like Renaissance painter names,
Oh yeah, that's right. If you, as a matter of fact, yeah, let me check my notes. Yeah, Terrence Hill was born Mario Girotti in 1939. And I think one of his parents was German and one of his parents was Italian. And during World War II, when Germany was getting bombed a lot, his family, which lived in Germany, he was fluent in German, Italian. He was like a polyglot. The guy spoke like 9 different languages.
Who was this?
Terrence Hill. But his family wanted to send him someplace safe, away from the bombing. Guess where they sent him?
America?
Dresden.
Crazy.
He survived the Dresden bombing.
Yeah, that's like the worst place for the bombings.
Ever. Still to this day, the greatest mass slaughter of human beings, just in one go.
Who did his dubbing, dude? Because it just sounds perfect. Him and Bambino, they got the perfect voices.
He eventually
it can't be them, right?
No. Hill, like I said, learned English, right?
Like
and
Nero.
he always encouraged Bud to learn English, but he never did. And so he missed out on a lot of parts. He could have been in Robert Altman's Popeye.
He would have been perfect. That other guy was perfect too, though. But
he was really look, Paul.
I always think of him as Bluto because he's always dropping the hammer down on everyone's skull and that's his main move. That's his jab.
Patented attack. Yes. Yeah. He just spams that.
Fucking love it.
Oh, it's fucking amazing, man. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, Bud Spencer was born Carlo Pedersoli. I'm usually pretty good with Italian names. Pedersoli. Yeah. And he was a Olympic swimmer, and he was all mad because his team didn't win the year that he was in the Olympics, but the next year that the Italian team won. And he was evidently pretty fucking butthurt about that. But he decided to go into acting, started out in some really small roles. And Terrence Hill had mostly been acting in Germany. He was in the Ring of the Nibelungs, parts 1 and 2.
Ring of the Nipple.
Ring of the Nibelungs.
Okay, I thought you said Ring of the Nipples. I was like, God, that's a crazy.
The Niflheim Nipples.
It's it's the story. It's the story that Lord of the Rings is based on.
Okay.
That's how I would describe it to people that aren't familiar with it. It used to be taught in high schools alongside Beowulf, but then World War I happened, and then World War II happened, and German literature.
We studied Beowulf in school.
From
academia.
Yeah, we studied Beowulf in school.
No, I'm saying it was taught in school, like alongside Beowulf.
Okay.
It's just So most Americans aren't familiar with it, which is unfortunate because it's metal as fuck. The ending of that is metal as fuck.
What's the name of it again?
Yeah,
this is Ring of the Nibelungs.
Dropping all that metal AF over here. You better
Ring of the Nipples. The Nibelungs.
All right, imagine this. Picture this. A bunch of fucking knights are basically holed up in a hall, right? The hall where they have like the big feasts, right? And so they've been tricked, and now they're being attacked by their hosts. And the blood is so bad. I mean, the carnage is so severe that when these motherfuckers are running at each other, they're literally up to their ankles in fucking blood. And blood is
that sounds
all
metal.
over the place. Yeah. And they just keep sending motherfuckers in. And then they set the place on fire. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive with this heat? And they're like, oh, I know. We'll drink the blood.
That's awesome. That kind of sounds like Vietnam. Like they kept sending people in.
Oh, it's awesome! It's one of the most awesome. It's one of the most awesome scenes in classical literature.
Do they have a movie about that, or is it?
Yeah, there's like there's parts 1 and parts 2, and I actually haven't seen them. I have them on disc somewhere. Because I know that they were like.
I'm looking for that immediately as soon as we're getting off of this.
The name that you want to look up is Siegfried. Siegfried. He's the hero who bathed in the blood, slayed the dragon, bathed in the blood of the dragon, which made him.
Oh, wait a minute! I did see a movie about that. Yeah, and he had a leaf got stuck to his back, right? Yeah,
like his on his like right shoulder.
That was a pretty goddamn good movie too. It was all in English. Yeah, I like that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's a famous ass story. But let's watch this scene. Yeah, so Bambino is trying to lead Trinity on a career in crime. Right? He's trying to like take him under his wing and teach him how to fucking rob stagecoaches and do all this, criminal shit. And Trinity, of course, is the guy that is like a total dirtbag, but also, like I said, fastest gun in the West, the devil's right hand, and like the best gambler. He's like the best at everything, but he has no ambition other than to sort of do good.
So yeah.
And so what's happening with the dynamic between him and Bambino is that he's always having to Jedi mind trick Bambino into doing the right thing.
So he's got to con him into doing dirty shit.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's sort of the wrong way around, right? Because Trinity is an interesting character because he has no ambition.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And as much as he likes it when they have some money, right, and they can dress in fancy suits, and of course that classic scene where they're in the French restaurant.
The restaurant. Yeah, it was funny.
Holy shit! Right? He's still just not a guy who's ambitious, right? It's like when he gets money, he's giving it away, and he's twisting fucking Bambino's arm all the give him the money. The 40 baby.
Dude, the crepes, when he's making the crepes, he lights it on fire. He's like, motherfucker. It's so funny. I love Spats, you know.
He gives that broke down family. He gives that broke down family money like 5 times, right? Because he just keeps
Yeah, and at a certain point, Bambino is just giving up, and he's just like, he just wants money. Yep.
Hell, Luke, or Sean Connery. Hell.
Oh yeah. Good to see
you in the chat. Back in the day, I remember that avatar from back in the day. Hell, either way.
Yeah, let me. All right, yeah, because I'm gonna have to show a clip at some point of the Bud Spencer Terrence Hill video game. Part 2 actually just came out, but let's just check out this scene real quick from Trinity Is Still My Name.
I say you've been cheating. Huh? You think so? I think so.
Right, and you hear the church bell. Dong.
It looks like the dude from the Rockford Files.
Yeah, little James got the same suit, right?
Yeah.
James Garner was actually in One Spaghetti. A Man Called Sledge, I think it's called.
Watch how he grabs the gun. It's funny.
I know, he's like rolling them.
He's rolling them around.
He's like rolling them in their holsters.
Like, don't try on me, boy.
Hey, boy.
Right, because this guy is some legendary badass.
Yeah,
this
look at the ponytail.
I know. Well, that's like a little pretzel knot. Little door candle.
Oh, man.
You say hi to Bruce Q. Wayne over there in the Peel chat. What's up, Bruce?
Hell.
This shit's about to go down right here. This is some funny shit.
When the lead hits you, it'll hurt less with a little whiskey in your gut.
Oh, yeah. Give the gentleman a double. That way you won't feel a thing.
They got the double pile driver.
You like know what they have. You like know what they got. You know.
They got the bulk.
Yeah.
And just fucking, oh god, and fucking Bambino just annoyed during the scene. What's up, Sim?
Hail, Sim.
Watching your shit, bro.
Get going.
Like, what the hell? They're all like, yeah, no, I ain't getting involved.
You like to see that again? It's hard to catch the first time.
He's like, okay, now I'm ready. That's the moment, man, when he fakes him out, when he just moves his left like just a little bit just to distract him.
Yep.
Cut it out.
Cut it out, he said.
Did you get it? So you think it's going to end here, huh? Yeah, I think so.
This movie's called Trinity Is Still My Name.
Yeah, link down below in the description where you can watch it for free.
Oh, good, Tim. Back at you.
But yeah, Sim is a Bud Spencer, Terrence Hill fan.
Yeah, me too. You know that. That's
back in the day.
When I first seen you doing this show, I was like, dude, you gotta do Trinity. You have to.
I remember that. Yeah, Pops was all about the Trinity.
Oh man. Well, I mean,
and there's another one. Look, I tried to find Crime Busters. I can't find it.
Really? That was on Tubi not too long ago. But then again,
I can't find it anywhere, dude. Crime Busters is from 1977. It's also
I know it. That's a good
Bud
one.
and Terrence, but it's not the Old West. It's like Miami Vice or some dumb shit.
Their last
so bad.
Crime.
This was their last Western. I mean, they did have a little bit of a reunion movie. God, I forgot. I can't even remember the name of it. But it wasn't very good. You know, the spaghetti Western had come and gone. A lot of people actually blamed these movies for the death of the spaghetti Western, right?
What?
Yes, because what happens to a genre before it dies? It gets turned into parody.
You can't figure out what sex they are. I don't.
So you start out with Evil Dead, right? And you go into the Evil Dead 2, and then you end up with Army of Darkness, where it's not even a horror movie anymore, right? Just the horror has been completely.
I see what you're saying.
I understand that, you know, for some people, those movies, that's their shit. That's their shit, and I respect that. But this was when the spaghettis. I mean, obviously, when you have a genre that's that expansive and they're experimenting with different shit, right? Like with the horror spaghettis, eventually you're going to have some lighthearted comedic ones. And the Trinity movies were so successful that they just started making more and more spaghetti comedies until, you know, it just kind of ran its course. I think that the genre was on its way out no matter what. Right?
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, okay, so.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
You're saying, like, I just don't see how the Italians just lost their ability to make movies, even though, like, they had, like, this great run of spaghetti westerns that and Trinity was, like, super, super popular. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden just disappeared, like nobody was into it anymore. That doesn't sound right to me.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
they were like, how are we going to top that?
Well, no. What happened was, this is the nature of the Italian movie industry cycle, like its history, right? Before the westerns, it was all about peplums, right? Sword and sandal movies.
Yeah.
Do you like gladiator movies, Billy? Yeah, those are the movies that he's talking about, right? The Hercules movies with Steve Reeves.
Oh, those were so good, dude.
Oh, Hercules in the best is Mario Bava did one called Hercules in the Haunted World with Red Clark.
Oh wait, did I see that one?
Lee. Yeah, it's amazing.
I gotta check that one out. Hold on.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I might have seen it, but
I got that shit on Blu-ray, son. Yeah, it's amazing. Was it oversaturation? Well, I mean, right, like did it go to crime films after? Yeah, that's exactly where it went. Dr. Raj, I know who the fuck you are, bro.
I can see that happening.
That took me a second, but yeah,
because Marvel movies, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so like saturated. I'm sick of seeing fucking superhero movies. Like I don't want any more. Please stop.
Well, I mean, I'll take superhero movies. I just won't take shit superhero movies. It's superhero fatigue. No, it's shit movie fatigue.
I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, even before the movie started going south, it was like, this is just too much because it's the same story over and over again. You know,
this is the same guy who started the show with "I loved Wolverine and Deadpool."
No, I did. It was good, and that was a superhero movie, but it was almost making fun of itself too. You know what I'm saying? Like
parody of a superhero.
Like they kept breaking the fourth wall all the way through.
Show, bro. You can't flip flop that soon after you say so.
I can absolutely do that. I'm telling you, but that's different because it was a comedy. It was more like slapstick with knives.
So that's what these movies were. They were comedies. They were slapstick.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like
that could be a harbinger that superhero movies are on the way out.
I think they were on the way. Well, I think it was like mainly bad writing, but I think it's mostly like there was just so many of them. You know what I'm saying?
So many bad ones. That's what I think.
Going to be Lobo.
That shit forever.
Yeah.
Lobo was the proto Deadpool. He did everything first, and fucking and evil.
Yeah.
So he will be like the end. I think the end to end all fucking superhero movies.
They should get Jason Momoa to play Lobo. If they do a Lobo, Lobo's absolutely not a superhero.
No, he's a super villain. He's a villain. He's a fucking villain. And you guys go read Kyle Hotz' new one-shot cancellation special. He fucking murders everybody on his planet. Then he goes and murders everybody on another planet. Lives there for 4 years, becomes a farmer. Then he murders the farmers at the end. Like he's it's fucking crazy.
Yes, like he goes to hell. Like they have him like when there's that big
I got it.
The War in Hell series. Remember that DC thing that like we missed out on because we weren't reading comics at the time, and it was fucking dope as fuck.
I know. I was reading comics. I got all of those. I got every fucking Lobo.
Yeah, about the one with Sam Keith, right?
No, I'm talking about the one, the mini series. I'm talking about the mini series that was about the War in Hell.
I know which one you're talking about. Where he's like, "Oh, coochie coo," and then the fucking thing turns into a demon and it bites his finger, a little Cupid. And dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking
about. But in
that,
he's like, it's just like, well, like who's like the worst soul in hell? It's Lobo. He's literally like they basically buried him under the prison. You know what I'm saying?
In the end, they made him immortal, not because like they just didn't want him back.
He's the most metal character.
We got a shout out from the Pill chat to somebody in the YouTube chat. Bruce Q. Wayne wants to say hey to Timmy Olsen. What's up, Tim Olsen?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, hey, what's up to everybody on Pilled? I think we're also on Rumble. See, I've got a fucking marbles, man. So what happened with the Italian film industry was, first it was all about peplums. They started making American style westerns, and then Leone created the Italian western. Do you know what I mean? Put a little fucking seasoning in it, and so the Italians made the genre their own and revitalized it and just fucking gave it new life. And then it ran its course, and after that, it kind of went into Polizio Tesci movies. The Charles Bronson movies have been very popular in Italy, so they started making a lot of sort of Charles Bronson movies. The ones with Maurizio Merli slapping the fuck out of people. But a lot of good ones too. The Big Racket is a favorite of mine. And then after that, they went back into horror. And actually, it was for the peplums, I think. Or was it peplums and then horror? But you know what I'm saying? In other words...
Well, let me ask you a question. Did they pioneer Did they pioneer westerns in Italy? Like as far as... Well, like were they the only ones doing westerns at the time?
No.
When the spaghetti westerns were hitting like really, really hard?
It's... The Western is, of course, the quintessential American genre, right?
Yeah.
But they were watched by audiences all over the world. And so they grew up watching these movies and idolizing people like John Wayne and Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. And you see it in their performances too, especially sometimes with the physicality of somebody like a Terrence Hill or a Giuliano Gema, right? Well, we're able to do like these cool stunts, or they'll show off like their insane upper body strength or something. It's like very, very old school that way. So they started making Westerns, but they tried to basically trick the audience into thinking that we're American Westerns. Then Sergio comes in and says, fuck that, right? Because it's kind of like, you go to a Thai restaurant, for spicy food, but you can also go to a Mexican restaurant for spicy food, but it's a different kind of spicy. It's like every country that puts its hands on a genre, hopefully, is putting their own flavor into it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, like he was the first one to come along and be like, you know, stop trying to imitate the Americans. Let's make this ours.
Yes. Yeah. And so they just fucking, at that point, just leaned right into it and created the universe of the Spaghetti West, which is dirtier, filthier, meaner, more violent, really kind of like a hellscape.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It's probably close to what the real Wild West was, to be quite honest.
Right. And so, you know, growing up, of course, there was a time where most of the movies and most of the television shows were Westerns, right? Yeah. It was an oversaturated fucking genre. And the Italians came along and just fucking breathed new life into it and made it their own and created something that I think is incredibly special. Except the mistake that a lot of contemporary filmmakers make is they try to imitate them. And you see this all the time. And it never works. It never works.
No, you're right. Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Spaghettis go, is what I'm saying. Let the spaghettis go. It was a time. It was a country. Two countries, really, right? It was Italians making movies in Spain. Largely with Spanish casts in the smaller parts, and all their stuntmen were Spanish lunatics, like vaqueros that went into doing stunt work. And it's pretty funny because like the guys that you see getting knocked around, like in this scene, a lot of those guys are the same guys that Arnold was fucking up in the Battle of the Dunes in Conan the Barbarian.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I remember like hearing, this is a total nonsense, that it was so freezing cold when they shot that right in Almeria that the stuntmen mixed like the fake blood was freezing, so they mixed it with vodka.
Oh, that's awesome!
And the stuntmen, being fucking lunatics,
drank it,
fucking guzzling the fucking blood.
But what was it? Blood back then made out of corn syrup or something like that? Like
usually corn syrup and like Carol corn syrup and red food color.
So basically, they were making like mixed drinks back then. Just
basically, I mean, I remember getting a home movie in my backyard, and my best friend was like covered in this stuff, and it was freezing cold outside. And it was freezing on him. And finally he was like, fuck it, I quit. Marched off the set in high dudgeon.
The fuck out of here. You made a movie when you talking about the one you made for college, right? Like
no. This was like a video camera when I was in high school. Yeah. Way back in the Dizzy. Let me bring up, let's see that. Oh yeah, this because we gotta talk about this scene. We gotta talk about this scene right here.
Tell it's a fancy seating place between here and Frisco.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
All decked out, you know. I mean, it's just like went from like, especially Trinity is just such a fucking dirtbag, right? You know, it not just slovenly, just I mean his outfit. You know, he's wearing like these dirty long johns.
Still dirty.
They're like, that look like they've never been washed ever. and now he's walking around like a pimp. They're both walking around like pimps. And then, of course, they create this false impression that they are federales, that they are federal agents. And so that becomes like their new grift, basically. And so they're going to, they take money from the sheriff because they're just like, yeah, you know how it works here. You know, the sheriff is like, oh, you guys are fed? Yeah, like how much, right? Because all you guys can be bought, right? And so they take the money, but then, of course, Trinity does his detective work. But first, the boys have got to get something to eat. And you know that these guys could fucking put it away.
But you have to be members.
Yeah.
That fucking that dude right there on the far right. That guy's name is Romano Pupo. And yeah, he was like one of the Spanish stuntmen that ended up being, having small roles in these movies.
Mistaken a lawman, huh?
And actually, Dr. Agita would know this, has a leading part or co-stars alongside Reb Brown in Bruno Mattei's RoboWar, which if you haven't seen it, it's a combination ripoff of Predator and RoboCop. You gotta see it to believe it, man. One of these days we gotta do a fucking Bruno Mattei movie, man. The guy's like fucking kind of the Italian Ed Wood.
All I know is one of you motherfuckers has to start something with barbarians. You know what I'm saying?
What's with barbarians?
You need to start doing some barbarian movies around this bitch.
Oh shit, man. That'd be great. We need to do it. Well, Barbarian Comics make it so. Now you remember this actor on the left, the Major D. He was the same actor that played Stengel in Sabata.
Well, what, sir? Bring us some food.
Perhaps the gentleman would like to begin with...
Right, we'd like to begin.
Well then...
Bring us some grub.
Just bring us something to eat. And on the double.
On the double.
Wine.
He left out motherfucker. This is what he left out.
Right. We'd like to eat.
So the waiter comes in and he's removing the superfluous plates, and then like watch what the Bud does.
I expected as much. Sooner or later, the government was bound
I
to send...
told you, don't worry about that now, Lugo. Curiosity's killed a lot more than...
I could be completely wrong here, but I always felt like that restaurant scene in The Blues Brothers was inspired by this.
But you're not thinking...
I think you're right.
Take me literally. You don't go kill...
Take me literally.
Right, he's like, you don't kill federales, you buy them. It's very dainty.
It's very dainty.
Some peas. Et voila. So of course they're loading their plates up. And you notice how like extra disgusting they are? Just in terms of the way that they're eating, like Bambino's already licking his fingers and shit.
Brian, you may not know this, but that's how all poor people eat. Me and Matt used to eat like that before we became civilized.
Goodness, we became civilized.
I'm surprised you never spit on your food before, so your brothers wouldn't eat it. You'd be like, take it now, bitch.
I've heard about that, yeah.
Looks like it's...
Yeah, Terrence is getting the eye from like some of the young hot females, and Bud's getting the eye from like this grandmother. We're gonna top it. Crepes Suzette. And don't ask me what crepe Suzette is. I mean, I've had crepes before, but I don't know specifically what crepes Suzette.
That's when a chick named Suzette makes your crepes.
Oh, That explains everything. Well, I mean, shit, you've got like great like French cooking in Nolans down there, right? Although I'm guessing that it's,
I've eaten crepes before, but it's because my wife made it for me.
Gotcha.
I've never seen crepes on the menu at a New Orleans restaurant though. I mean, they do have some French cooking, but it's not. I think it's evolved since since it was settled.
Cointreau, Curaçao, Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier.
Voilà. How about it?
Yeah, so he's asking him, like, do you want, like, some Grand Marnier on there? I love Grand Marnier, but it's, like, one of those things that's, like, so sweet, I can only have, like, one.
So rich.
Yeah, but just, like a little bit of Grand Marnier, like a shot glass worth. Oh, yeah, baby.
You for true.
Suits me fine.
And understand, like, French like, pastries and desserts, they're a lot like German desserts in the sense that they have a lot of them have alcohol.
And like Jaeger.
Shit's delicious.
Yeah, it is.
Like Jägermeister.
They're like bread pudding with the rum sauce on it.
Liqueur.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, we had like a French bake pastry shop where I used to live in Nyack, and oh man, I used to when I was a naughty boy. Oh man, they had these goat cheese tarts that were well enough about that shit. I can go off about I'm like it's making myself hungry.
I know. Yeah,
thinking about that shit.
You ever had baklava? Baklava.
Oh fuck me, man! Baklava is the shit. I can fucking gorge myself on that stuff.
Oh, dude, it's easy to overdo it on baklava.
Oh my god, so fucking good.
Et voilà.
Hey, he told about to find those papers. I saw him.
Sous des flambés.
Patented.
Voila.
And then they just stroll out without even fucking paying. They're just like reveling in their new power, even though it's completely bogus. You're right. Some people think they're like these badass federales. They're just like these two complete scumbags.
Horrible.
Yeah, I love these movies, man. I love these movies. They're just good for the heart. Always. Whenever I'm feeling down, these like Bud Spencer, Terrence Hill movies always put a smile on my puss.
It's a so good movie, huh?
Oh well, yeah, just a lot of them, man.
They did a third one or what?
No. They just ended up doing a long series of comedies, some of which were directed. Actually, one of them. I think a couple of them were directed by Sergio Corbucci, and I know his brother, who did Django,
right?
And The Great Silence, and a couple other just like classic spaghetti westerns, because of course they weren't making spaghettis anymore, and so they transitioned just into like straight comedy, and specifically slapstick comedy. And the thing about slapstick is that it translates. And that's why they were these huge megastars throughout like everywhere but America. They were especially huge, evidently, in Latin America. Evidently, they went, I think, to Brazil, just to like promote their new movie.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get out of the hotel.
Wow.
They couldn't get out of the hotel.
Funny, dude. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of transcends everything. Like Three Stooges. I would think Evil Dead's the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Splatstick, but I always loved slapstick as a kid. Like I love the Three Stooges. Like that's
Me
why
too,
I think I like this so much. With
Abbott and Costello.
Abbott Costello, and then this kind of reminds me. I was a big fan of Blazing Saddles. And this is obviously before that. So, definitely had that comedy in the West.
Let's see. Did I grab that clip that I meant to grab? I don't think that I did, because I wanted to show really quick the video games.
I like when Bambino goes to see the Padre. You know, he's doing.
Oh yeah, when he goes to confession.
Yeah.
Right, because like this Mexican peon has told them, like, yeah, there's something strange about because they asked him, like, he's got a shiner. It's like, where'd you get that shiner?
Yeah.
And he's just like, man, I went to the monastery over there to go to confession, and the monk punched me in my eye.
Yeah, the guy. Oh yeah, they got the funniest looking guy with the shiner, right? And then then you go see the Padre that's doing the confession. He's super funny, like character. You know, you would draw out of like Mad Magazine. You know, very funny looking actors.
Yes, and that's one of the things that you always got in the Spaghettis. You always got these interesting faces.
Yeah.
God, I'm thinking of especially Leone was great at using that with extras, right? We'd always just find these people with just these fascinating faces.
Not much fan art for this, probably, huh?
No. Although there is not for this specific movie, but for Bud and Terrence in general. Yeah. Oh hell yeah! Actually, you know what? I'm an idiot because I'm not wearing my Bud Spencer T-shirt because I do have.
You're gonna have to rock it next month, dude.
Yes, definitely.
Or in 3 weeks. We're doing Kung Fu next week, right?
Next week, actually, we're probably going to have to do a
horror
a rerun because I have a ticket to see Terrifier 3 that evening.
Oh shit. Snap!
Yeah, boy.
I heard that people are walking out in the first 12 minutes in the UK.
What?
I heard that actor David Newton, I forgot his name, Howard or something like that.
Yes,
he threw up during the movie too. The guy actually played. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just to promote the movie or what. Like
that sounds like promotion, but I'm still interested. I want to see.
I mean, Leone said he wouldn't be, but like when he heard that people were like puking and fainting, he was just like, "Trust me, I would make that shit up in a heartbeat." Like I'm not above that sort of a thing. But he was like, "But it's true. It's like evidently it's actually happening."
Yeah, dude. And then the new Nosferatu trailer dropped. That was great. I don't know
oh my god. Yeah, it looks amazing. Amazing.
Me and the wife were trying to sneak out on Christmas Day so we could go watch it after we open presents.
Oh, for sure.
It looks so good.
Oh, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. I'm hoping that's a big hit, man, because Eggers is doing what they should be doing with the new Hammer, right? They should be bringing back gothic horror because that was what Hammer was about, was specifically gothic horror. And there's no reason why you can't make gothic horror scary again.
I would hire him and Juan and just say, hey, I need you guys to fucking maybe Guillermo. And just
I think the Hammer movies, like spaghetti westerns, had its time, and you're never going to see it again.
Oh, like that for sure.
Yeah.
But we could get something new, is what I'm saying.
Everybody prays for that, but it just never happens.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's true.
Yeah. But, you're talking about the studio that dripped blood, right?
I think Terrifier is the new Hammer, to be quite honest.
Could be, like you never know.
Well, that's more like 80s slasher. That's,
Well, not Hammer,
very much
like the new genre, like take the place of the old, those type of movies.
I think the future of horror is art house. I think art house horror. Yeah. Long Legs would definitely be in the art house genre.
It was good, but I don't think I'd want to see that movie again. Like it was good for once, but
right.
The Color of Outer Space was good. I like that.
Amazing.
Another movie with your boy in, I can't remember which one was it. Yeah, Mandy. Oh,
Mandy,
dude, more like Mandy, please.
Would you say, guys, we're actually in the art house time right now? Then.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying.
We're probably 5 years deep into it,
Yes,
because there's so many fucking
A24 movies
that are like that, like A24. Yeah. There's a bunch, dude, that I'm starting to find, that have been out for a while, that are art house horror. And some that might even be, some might even be that way that are like popular. Maybe some of Juan's movies might be that way, but we didn't really notice it. Not all of them, right? But maybe a couple of,
Right. But yeah, Hammer absolutely could bring back gothic horror if they wanted to. And when the new proprietor, the guy that evidently is like a London theater magnate, you know what I mean? Like a guy that's like big in the theater.
The theater.
Bought the company, and look, Dr. Jekyll went also straight to video, straight to streaming.
Yeah, that was garbage.
Release. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. It just didn't work.
I bet it didn't.
I'm looking forward to Hellboy. That's coming out next week. It's coming out it's on the 7th or the 8th. So I think it's next Friday. So I'm hearing good things. It's getting good reviews overseas, but yeah, it's fucking dead. Hellboy.
Oh, that. Yeah. I'll watch it. But I'm gonna watch it. That was always gonna get dumped direct to video. But
it's crazy though. I never thought that would have happened with such a mainstream character. I never thought they would fuck it that hard. No, like that's
Mignola fucked up.
Amazing.
I think movie theaters are on the way out. And they're just dropping. They're going to start dropping more and more stuff straight to stream.
Yep. And also the shit that they're releasing in the theaters. It's just like, oh well, you're going to be able to get that on streaming in like 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, it's like the movie industry and the theater industry, they're committing a seppuku like the comic book industry, right?
Cutting off that dead
industries that are just fucking doing themselves in.
Yeah. How did Mignola fuck up though, Brian?
What was that?
How did Mignola fuck up though, or Mignola?
He fucked up by not letting Guillermo do a third Hellboy movie.
But that was
it his?
Yes, that was the studio though. They didn't want to do it.
Guillermo was ready to go. Ron Perlman was ready to go. Whole cast was ready to go, and he was just like, "Nah, I think I want to go in a different direction." And then
Magnolia had that type of power, because usually they don't give it to the artist like that.
No,
I heard that too, but then I heard the studio didn't want to do it. Like they didn't have the budget in it because it was a bigger thing.
It eventually would have gotten made, though. I think it eventually would have gotten made. We ended up getting the Neil Marshall movie, which just seemed sort of half finished.
Yeah, right? It wasn't that good. I don't like it. It was
There were things I loved about it. But
like the end demons were like some of the fucking dopest demons I've ever seen on screen.
Yes.
That was totally like Clive Barker or whatever.
The Luchador vampire in the beginning is amazing.
So good. There's some
but
good,
then you get like CGI that looks like it's from like the early 2000s.
Yeah, like some fucking Jar Jar Binks fucking the big monster Garogach. I forgot to pronounce his name. Kill me. But
the production of that movie, that was one of those movies where the producer was like actively fucking with the production.
That was the Momoa remake of Conan.
That happens more than you know, dude.
A lot, supposedly.
A lot of foolery,
I don't get it. Like that's kind of stupid, though.
I am excited for the new one though. It's people are fucking either like the comic fans are liking it, and Hellboy being my favorite comic of all time. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm curious. I'm willing to give it a chance. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We shall see. Damn, I don't have sound for this. But yeah, Bambino's just starts reading off like his list of sins, and the priest is just like, oh shit. He's just like horrified, right? Because the music swells up and he's making all these gestures like slitting throats and that sort of a thing. And he's like, around that time I was 12. So he's had just like the most brutal fucking upbringing, not a ideal situation for sure. Let me bring up another clip here, since we can show clips too. And by the way, folks, if you're watching us on YouTube, check it out. You can also watch us on Rumble, and you can also watch us on Pilled, which is the new shit. So if the stream gets yanked, you can always go over there and continue watching the stream. But yeah, what did you guys think of this movie?
Well, I one of my favorite westerns up there. Just because it's feel good, it's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like the first one, it's got something different too. Like the other one had the Amish. This one they're doing just stuff like pretending to be federales. You got the Padres. A lot of cool, funny moments. That guy's in every fucking movie, a spaghetti movie.
Yes.
Seems like.
Yes.
It was funny when he was playing with his Trinity's playing with his bow tie, you know.
Yeah, right up to your face and dissed you, but bit.
And I thought for some reason there'd be like 5 of these movies, but there's only 2, so that makes them some way a little
Why
more.
are them guys all laughing at you?
If you like, though, but then remember, you still haven't seen God Forgives, I Don't, Ace High, and Boot Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Although those aren't comedies, but those they have a. I mean, they definitely have some humor in them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Bud and Terrence in the Old West, and those characters are awesome too.
Oh, and the fights are great. The fight scenes are great, you know.
Yeah, there's one coming up right now.
Yeah, boy.
Town is pointing at you and laughing.
The voice.
Totally setting him up.
Always manipulating Bambino.
Gee, you seem to strike his funny bone. Third time he looks at you and laughs.
He's always Jedi mind tricking him.
Well, now, how you two doing, huh?
James Hurley wants to know what's up with the YouTube. I don't know. You know, they're just all messed up.
They suck.
Suppose you let
That's
me in
what's
on
up
the
with
joke.
you.
Come on, sit down. Hey, he put his hand on you.
Sam!
There you go, right on time
We'll
for that
flatten
scene
the
that I
whole
wanted to
bunch
talk
of
about.
you.
from
Well,
the
you
film.
wouldn't mind showing me how you're going to do that, huh?
You guys can hear me good?
Yep.
You tune into the Madness Comic Network on Pilled or Rumble and still watch this show.
I'm going to refill.
Yes, sir.
Best part of Terrence Hill is you like him in the movies, but you always go and look at him and goes, I would fucking smack that guy.
Yeah, right.
He pushes the buttons.
Way to go. Yeah.
He does look like Franco Nero.
Hit me in the ear. Shakespeare. Kick in the rear.
Yeah. In the rear.
That dude's going to ride Bambino for the rest of the fight.
Hey, what? Oh, this is ridiculous. Hey, Barrel.
You guys saw earlier how fast he is with a fucking gun. God damn it.
Yeah.
No, that's why he wanted to play Lucky Luke. He's a big comic book fan.
What a rotten bunch. Is he coming with us? Mm-hmm. BC. I bet they all got a price on their heads.
Yeah. Huh?
Howdy. Are you all crazy or something? I thought I told you not to show up in town.
In you go. Howdy, Sheriff.
What can I do for you?
To begin with, you can start giving us $800 for this merchandise.
Certainly, sure will. Where'd you nail them?
In town.
No.
Yeah.
Lock him up, Sheriff.
Of course, the sheriff is totally on the take. Although they know that, right?
On
Or at least
the take, or he doesn't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
So on the take, or he doesn't want to deal with them.
Right.
Just want to let them do whatever they fucking want because I don't want to die.
Right. And then Trinity wants to remove them basically from the board so they don't have to deal with them while he goes, and they check out the monastery, because it turns out that the nearby monastery is being used basically to run guns.
Damn, Brian, they're lagging as hell. Yeah.
It happens a
Mr. Roboto.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was me.
Am I robotic arm?
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, God. I hate that fucking shit, man. I remember in 6th grade, all my fellow boys were all into, my peers in class were very into that crap, and I was all into Black Sabbath. I just could not relate at all.
No, I grew
up
with
a badass
music, dude. I'm not one of those like I only like one thing.
No,
like,
I mean, neither.
Dude,
but when you're a kid,
I used to love like metal, disco, classical. Hey, come on.
I can't stand country. But
but
country. I like some of it.
Well, the real country, not the fucking pop country, you know? Hank Williams and that sort of shit.
I kind of like the mix of rock country, maybe you could say. I kind of like that one.
Like,
yeah, I listen to everything.
Yeah. I'm open to almost everything, but there's not a lot in there I like, but
Right,
but I just listen to metal.
But then there's the stuff that you're really into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like stuff that you connect with. And
like the other day, I got surprised. Like I don't know if you guys know the fallen from behind. No, what is it? There's the band falling from something. Hold on, falling from reverse or something like that.
Falling in reverse.
Yeah, and I click on the song that he released not too long ago, and it says like it's the Papa Roach song, "Last Resort," reimagined. I was not expecting this shit. Like, actually, like, you're expecting, like, suffocation, no breathing. No, dude, he went full classical. He's sitting there at the fucking piano, and he went, like, the other way around. I'm like, it's kind of weird. Kind of like it.
Country. They did a country song, too.
Yeah, with Jelly Roll. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck's going on?
There's a guy on YouTube that takes every song and makes it sound like Peter Steele's doing it.
Funny.
That's pretty
It
funny.
is. It's fucking hilarious.
God,
it sounds exactly like Peter Steele, too.
Skolosny, I think they're called. It's this composer that writes music for a boys' choir.
Oh, shit.
And they also do covers of like Nirvana songs and shit, but it's like sung by like a children's choir, and it's kind of spooky. It's interesting. It's interesting. But yeah, let me show you.
There's like some German metal band I got to show you later, Brian.
Some what? German? Did you say Deutsche Metal? Oh yeah, what you got there?
My brother showed me today. I got to show you later.
That's looking tasty, Sim.
This is why I was doing.
It should be. Well, I mean, it would be more appropriate if you were having beans, but we will let that go.
Why beans?
Because they were fucking Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill. They're always fucking over like massive amounts of beans. This movie begins with them both jacking the same outlaws for their beans.
Yeah, but dude, that's a cowboy thing. Yes.
So yeah, check this out. Because I love
video game.
yeah. And what's great is they just came out with a new one. And that, like this, has the original music. And that's one of the things that's so much fun about these games is that they recreate scenes from the movies with the original music. And then they've got all these like crazy mini games, like a little mini driving game. It's a retro side scroller brawler, but then the technology being what it's like now, they can put games within the game and everything. But
do they go over? Is it story like one story, or they're going over all the movie? Oh no, seems like it's
it's one story that kind of connects like all the movies, sort of. You gotta play it.
I want that game.
You see all the Leather Queens? That's from I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It's not a particularly good one. It is one of the ones that's directed by Sergio Corbucci, though, where Bud and Terrence are on this island, which for some reason has all of these leather daddies. like gay leather daddies.
Also known as Gimp.
Bud and Terrence style fighting system. Yeah, that's the right. So then it goes into like this is from Watch Out, We're Mad, which is one of the best Bud Spencer Terrence Hill movies, which begins with like this like buggy race. Yeah, that's another thing that's cool about this. You can it has multiplayer, so yeah, you can play this. I think with like at least I think the new one you can play with 4 people. Evidently. Oh yeah, so of course, yeah, like the power-ups are either like these big frosty beer glasses or skillets full of beans. And then after you eat the beans and like regain your health, you can then use the frying pan as a weapon. Yeah, so everybody, if you're into Bud and Terrence, like I am, like Sim is, like just about all of us are, go and show some love and grab these games. They're like $20 a piece. And then there's the new shit.
This and Clint Eastwood were my first fucking westerns. After Lucky Luke. But not the movie, the cartoons.
Right. Yeah. Now, in Canada, I'm guessing, especially in Quebec, since that's like a more European kind of place, that these guys were like pretty huge, right? Well, they, did these movies get theatrical releases in Montreal?
Yep.
Damn. Once again, like I said, they're like huge, like cartoonishly huge, like on almost every fucking country.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But you know, if Bud had learned English, they could have made movies over here. And Terrence Hill's English was always really good.
But I think they spoke French a bit.
Oh, dude, Terrence Hill spoke fucking everything.
Yeah, Terrence Hill, yes. I was talking in general, but I know Bud Spencer did.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, speak French.
Right. But Terrence Hill was one of those guys. Viggo Mortensen is one of those guys, too, that when they go on press junkets, like to promote their movies all around the world, they don't need a interpreter. Like they speak like 9 languages.
It's like Kate Beckinsale. Dude, she speaks perfect fucking French.
Fuck. God
like
damn.
Almost no accent. Like
that's
not a joke. Like when you see it in the movie, like in Underworld, like no, dude, she speaks fucking French. Like I saw an interview, like
yeah. That's I've always been very jelly of people like that. Yeah. You know, here in America, we're mostly monolingual, of course, but in most countries, certainly in Europe, most people
speak for yourself, because I speak a second language.
Yes.
Language of love.
The language of love. Yeah, I used to whisper German into my Polish girlfriend's ear while while I was invading.
Into her butthole.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Okay.
Everybody.
So you speak Spanish, Preston?
No, I speak Louisianan.
So you know what finna means? Finna?
Finna?
Finna.
Finna come over there and whoop that ass.
Yeah, there's a little. It shows a little interview here with Terrence Hill.
And most people in Europe speak like 2 languages.
Before.
I'm sorry, what you say, Matt?
It's a common thing in most countries. Like, to be quite honest, like that's what I wanted to say is like one of the things about Quebec that's I think it's pretty fucked up. It's still to this day.
Yeah,
a lot of people only want to speak French. Just last weekend, I went to a festival, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you have your books in French? I go, no. Oh, because we're fucking pieces of shit. And I'm like, we're just shit to you. I'm like, no, you just you just don't bring money. You should have seen their face. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, it costs money to print if you don't sell. I'm just saying. Like, it's a very small. Yeah, but France. I'm like, yeah, but France. I need to translate it in France. You wanted Quebec French, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're kind of a bit picky. I'm just saying. Like, I want to do both. Like, dude, I'm fucking
right.
But the thing is, I'm sorry. Like, you're talking about like a print run. If I told her, I'm like, dude, if I print 100 copies, it's like 20. I'm gonna have to sell them like $40 a pop. It's gonna cost me like $20 to print. Like, think about it. We print 500 copies. We pay $10 because I print big books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you speak multiple languages. Like, can't you translate your books into?
I can, but it comes to the printing. It's not the other way. It's not the problem, dude. The last campaign, my book was available in French, and I offered it in digital in French. Nobody took it.
What?
Nobody took it.
I noticed that too. Like, in other countries, like the sales aren't really that great. Like
Well, remember, most people don't. The shipping and handling is a big thing, but that's the whole point of having a digital tier is to get around that. Is to is the fact that it.
But I've also learned that most of the time, people complaining about the fact that your book's not in French or not in English. Because when I used to print them in French, people used to, do you have it in English?
Damn.
Now it's the other way around. Get it? And usually those people complaining and having that attitude about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying all of them, but a big part of them won't buy your book anyways.
Right.
They're just doing it to complain because they're offended.
Right.
Well, because we're chopped liver to you? Like, dude, what do I look like? Like, I'm fucking from here. Just I used to print from here, and the sales don't show up. I sell more in English.
Well, it's kind of like, the people that were demanding, like, woke movies and comics and all that shit. And I remember, like, when it began, thinking, you motherfuckers are demanding this shit, you're not going to support it. Like, even you are not going to want to read this shit. Even you are not going to want to watch those movies. Even you are just going to.
Dude, it's like.
And
I don't know what you're talking about. I think those movies are brilliant.
Dude, it's like the other example, the other way around.
What was that?
Oh, you're frozen? You froze there. I wanted to let you finish your.
God damn, man. Sick of fucking freezing. Anyway, let me run a little bit of this interview with Terrence Hill.
They didn't know me when I made my first Western because I had left Italy and I worked for 3 years in Germany.
Now he's in his fucking 70s here. Tell me that's
dude
not a
looks
fucking
amazing, dude. Fucking 70.
Tell me that guy's not a fucking G-Dilf.
So when I came back, and when this film was made, at the end, they gave me a list of 20 names, and said in 24 hours you have to choose a name because we have to come out. Like it always happens, things at the last minute. So I went to this list, and I said, "Oh, I like this name, and take this one." And that's how it happened, and through a simple list. And I was lucky in a way because I had put in contracts that the next movie I'm going to make, because I will go back to my original name. But the movie at that time was a success worldwide, and the distributors came praying to me, please, let's forget this clause in the contract and stay with Terrence Hill. Enzo Barboni, compared to other directors I worked with, like Leone, Visconti, Lizzani, and Pontecorvo, and so on, De Sica.
Name dropping.
Compares to me like a glass of fresh water. Because he came with this movie, and it was totally simple. His way of shooting was totally simple. And he reached that simplicity that each artist wants to reach. A musician wants to be simple and so forth, naturally. He didn't have to go to it through working a lot on it or through an intellectual process, let's say. He did it naturally, and we did it naturally. So I think that was a great time, a great director for those movies, and we enjoyed it very much. When we were making the Call Me Trinity, we were absolutely not aware that we were making something special. As a matter of fact, we were nervous about it because it was a script in a film that nobody wanted to make. And the director, writer, who it was his first time as a director, he was actually a director of photography, had written the script and would go around all the productions in Rome asking to make this film. And they would just open the script and say, what is all this dialogue? No action, no people killed, and it all passed. So we came from having made 3 movies where the director, Giuseppe Colizzi, started putting a little bit of humor in it. And they were called God Forgives, I Don't, Ace High with Eli Wallach and us, and Boot Hill with Brock Peters. So we were looking for a property, and we had people write 2 or 3 scripts that were all pretty bad. So when they came to us with this script, we were very nervous about it because nobody wanted to make them. But we liked the characters, and we thought that this was a step we could take because we had already put the seeds to make this step. But we were absolutely unaware that it would be, nervous, unaware that it would be received so well.
Über den Vergleich von ihm und Bud Spencer mit Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, so that's an interview with Terrence Hill that you can watch on the YouTubes. Interesting guy, still alive, still around, not making movies anymore because, like I said, the Italians not making movies, but still doing TV. I think he's. I think the Don Matteo series might even still be. They might actually still be doing that.
He looks incredible for 70 years old. Jesus Christ.
Might be, not 70, like 70-ish. In that interview, like
I think he's
yeah, and he doesn't have a thick accent either. It's crazy.
Yep.
I think he's taking some of that adrenochrome. That's what I think's going on.
Right.
No, that's 2 things there. That's 2 things. It's genetics and clean living. Right? It's like
so no adrenochrome.
Oh yeah, familiar. And oh man, people were saying that new horror movie, the one with Demi Moore, is supposed to be awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it's being compared to David Cronenberg.
Dennis Quaid.
What was that? Huh. Yeah, I mean the reviews for that have been euphoric. Yeah. Like evidently, it's about a drug or a process that's supposed to turn people younger. But what happens is that a younger version of herself splits off. Like, have you guys ever seen The Manster? The Manster? Mm-mm. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. That's like one of the great early body horror movies. That's like one of the most intense body horror moments in cinema history. Where this guy feels a pain in his shoulder and he goes over to the mirror to look at it, and suddenly an eye opens.
Oh man.
On his shoulder. And what happens is that a monster grows from him. Like at one point, you know, it like spawns from him and eventually breaks off.
Kind of like the Manitou.
No, when the Manitou is more like a boil or a cyst or something like
yeah, that was sick.
Back, and it turns out to be like a fucking Indian shaman, like reincarnating himself.
It was sick, dude. It's crazy.
I mean, the Manitou is a terrible movie, but that aspect of it and that scene when he comes out of her back is fucking great.
I don't know, dude. You know, I thought it was like it wasn't the greatest movie. It was one of those almost like an indie fun movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And it was just. I'm surprised they went there back then.
Yes, it was balls for sure. It's just at the end with all like the light.
I know that was retarded.
Yeah, that's retarded is what I'm saying. But but that's one of the things that's always been so special about horror is that you can watch a horror movie that's not even particularly a good movie, and it can have a moment in it or a scene in it, or even just an image that will fucking knock you off your feet, and that maybe stay with you for the rest of your life.
Well, they also had a chance, like they actually hired a little person to play the Manitou, and I don't think they can do that nowadays unless it's the little guy from
Dinklage. Yeah, man.
Plus, they blamed his dwarfism on being X-rayed by because he said you're modern poison.
Well, I know, like Michael Berryman, like his condition is that he doesn't have sweat glands.
No, I'm talking about the Manitou.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I thought you were talking about. I don't know what you were talking about. I'm starting.
No, like in the Manitou, they described the shaman's dwarfism on analyzing her.
That movie in like dude, I have not seen that movie in a long time. That needs to be revisited by yours truly. And that's the thing that's fucking great is you can just like think about some crazy movie that you watched maybe on TV when you were like a little kid, and now you can just like find it and watch it like on streaming. Yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
Oh yeah, Tony Curtis was in that.
Tony Curtis. Yeah, he was good too. He wasn't bad. He was kind of an odd choice to be in that movie.
Very, for sure. But that was, that was the 70s, man. That was a good time for horror. Lots of fucking dope horror movies, and then of course early 80s were fucking great for horror. And then horror went bye. It was no longer. Hollywood was like horror movies are out, so they stopped making horror movies.
They're like, fuck you, Brian. So more horror movies for you, motherfucker.
Yeah, but then but that's the thing. It's like even if that had been the end of the horror film as a genre, which would have been a massive tragedy, there'd still be like a fuck ton of awesome movies to watch and discover. Now, of course, there's just such a glut. There's just so much of it being made. Like my homeboy Chris always says, it's like we're gonna know what's worth watching in like 15 years,
totally,
like 15 or 20 years. Like that's when like there's certain as the Macho Man said, the cream rises to the top.
The cream always rises to the top.
Yep. yeah, James. That's the thing is fucking YouTube will just fucking gank us if we're playing clips. We're being a little experimental here tonight because
it's strange that they'll do that even on a public domain movie. Like sometimes they'll go ahead and
right. They don't because like of course it's not a person. It's a fucking computer. It's like Skynet or some shit. So it just detects that you're running a movie. But evidently on this.
Right. I was watching a special on it, and it's not that you're watching a movie; it's that you're having a good time on YouTube.
They're guilty of wrong think. Of course, it's the main thing. If they can find an algorithm to like delete wrong think, That would be the way to go. I'm sure it's something that they're working on. Let me see. So yeah, next week probably going to be a rerun because, like I said, I'm going to check out Terrifier 3.
Did you hear?
In the theater.
Did you hear the little report that was about Terrifier 3?
No.
The pre-screening. There's like people. There's some people that left right there in the intro, and there's one person that got really sick, got puked. From the opening scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a little suspicious about that because David Newton Howard supposedly upchucked, and I can't imagine him actually upchucking when he fucking filmed the scene and didn't puke. Maybe he just like pretended to puke, like filled his mouth with some pea soup or something, like blah, just to fucking get a little juice, get a little something going in the press. I'm looking forward to it. The thing about Damien Leone is that he showed that with each of his movies that he gets more and more ambitious, right? And because Terrifier, I really liked Terrifier, but I didn't love Terrifier.
Yeah.
I was like, that was really good. That was very good, awesome. But it was when I kind of went, hey, like he's actually expanding the mythology and going into like really religious horror territory. Interesting shit.
I preferred the first one. I thought the second one was a mess.
I did too. I liked the first one. I thought the first one was badass.
I like the first one, but I think the second one is just phenomenal.
You're just not a true fan.
To me, it's a mess.
I got my ticket. For 3. I got my ticket for 3. Remember when I first
poser talk to me?
Everybody, I got my Terrifier 3 tickets, bitches.
Sounds like poser talk. Oh.
Yeah, I like the second one more. I think it's way more epic. I like the Judeo-Christian themes, and I like the Terrifier. You get to see the fucking Terrifier in the sequel.
Yeah.
The demon girl, the fucking the little pale, little pale girl, right? That moment when he just like when he's in the like when she appears, I mean, she's clearly like a demonic spirit, right? When she's looking at the TV,
she's a demon.
And her eyes start fucking glowing.
Well, dude, she brings him back.
Yeah,
she brings him back. She takes his head, and then that lady, the Toxo host, gives birth to him.
Yes. Yeah. So, I know I've said this like a million times on this stream, but like somebody said that it was the height of arrogance for Damien Leone to make Terrifier 2 like a 2.5 hour, nearly a 2.5 hour movie, right?
Well, all I can say about that,
I agree with that,
is sometimes you got to throw your dick on the table and just let things let pieces fall where they may.
Yes, balls out.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And I thought it worked. I know some people weren't crazy about it. The new movie's getting, premiered at, I think, the American version of like Sitges, the big fantasy, the big horror movie festival in Europe. It's is it the Alamo Draft House? I think that holds that. I forget the name of it, but it premiered at that film festival, and some people loved it and some people hated it. So
the new one, huh?
We'll see. The worst reaction people could have is nothing.
Yeah, meh is the worst.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It was mid, right?
Yeah, mid. That's the new one, right? Mid.
Right. You want people, experiencing your work and feeling some things. Some type of. Yeah. 100%. Even if it's like no, thanks.
Well, dude, his fucking Frankenstein and Mummy movie. Oh, that was something else.
That was really good, dude. I'm still trying to get in touch with him about that, dude. Yeah.
I would, just.
Oh, Damien Leone?
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's the thing that's crazy. That's the thing that blows my mind is that Hollywood didn't go yoink. Right?
Well, no, they don't. That's not how it works anymore, though. Like it's not how talented you think you can make your mark on talent.
No, you make a very good point, and that's the thing that's also awesome about the whole Terrifier franchise is that it's homegrown. It's not astroturfed. It's indie shit, right?
Yeah, I like that. I think it's
yes. But I mean, that was always the case with indie film was mostly horror in America in the 60s and the 70s. You know, that and like biker movies and some other genres, but it was always mostly horror because horror is a genre that you can do where you don't need movie stars. And, you know, you can, even with a really low budget, you know, easily turn a profit. But of course, the grindhouses are gone. The fucking drive-ins are gone. So, you know, now it's kind of almost like I said, art house horror. That's kind of taking over, and which I think is the right direction. I think it's the right direction for the genre right now. But at the same time, you know, if Eggers is going to bring back fucking gothic horror like it looks like he is in the new Nosferatu,
dude, so black, like there's so many like dark shades. You know what I mean in that trailer?
Oh my god, it's yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me fucking bring that up really quick.
Might as well because we're ducking out next week. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. And I hate, you know, sitting on shit like this because what can I say? It looks phenomenal. Oh yeah, everybody go back Psycho Slumber on the Indiegogos. I don't think they've kicked him off like they did Cecil. But yeah, go check that out. Phil always makes a quality product, and it's with Adam Lawson. He always does. Awesome.
Why would they kick him off Indiegogo like Cecil?
I don't know, because it seems like the shit that Indiegogo is doing seems very random. It seems very random to me. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. What the fuck they're doing. All I know is that people need to divest from. We need to divest from Indiegogo. You know, I mean, that's not to say don't put your campaign on there. You know, use every fucking platform. You know, because every platform has its own audience. But that we should, you know, focus on trying to get Fun by Comic to a better place, you know. But they
need to start using something other than Stripe and give us some previews before everything gets launched.
Yes, it is not perfect. It is. I mean, my experience overall has been very good, but you know, do the kinks still need to be worked out of it?
No, the experience isn't bad. It's just that Stripe is not the best tool, like the payment method to be used, dude. I mean,
right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've had issues, but then all the issues got resolved. You know, so yeah. Let me see. Let me load this shit up because this just looks fucking dope. This is the kind of shit that Hammer should be doing. Bring back, you know, Hammer, of course. Like this is like very much about, you know, creating a black and white in color kind of a look. The Hammer movies should be garish fucking colors and booby dresses, booby velvet dresses, hot chicks in booby dresses, and lots of fucking blood. And just gothic shit, man.
Come to me. Come to me. I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
It is like a dream.
So it seems to me like Eggers is trying to create something that's like a news story almost, like not Dracula. And is he called Dracula in this, or is he called Count Orlok?
Better be Orlok.
I think he's Count Orlok, right? So I think he's making Count Orlok like his own character.
I wonder if he's Vlad the Impaler. I wonder if he has an origin. I wonder what his power skill set is.
Because
he's got a lot of shit going on in there.
Yeah, actually, Francis Coppola was the first one to do that.
To Vlad him up.
Yep. Because and now a lot of people think that's why I have a problem with that movie being called Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's I love that movie, but it's not Bram Stoker's Dracula. Do you know what I'm saying? It's Francis Coppola's Dracula.
You should call it the closest Dracula to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, I would say the closest to Bram Stoker's Dracula was the BBC miniseries with
that was amazing. All except for the last episode.
Right.
Yeah.
The one with Louis Jourdan and also the the Jess Franco one, Count Dracula, that we did. That was pretty.
That would be the closest, almost.
Yeah. There's a version of Frankenstein that's like that.
Van Helsing's not a woman in the book.
Igor was
that's like the Netflix one. That's like the new BBC one. I was talking about the old BBC one with like Frank Finlay and Louis Jourdan, not the one with Clay's bangs. But that's I enjoyed that series. I actually thought it was really entertaining.
When we turned around, everyone was dead.
Yeah, Phil, tonight we're also streaming on Pilled.net and also on Rumble. So we're fucking around tonight. Like, we give zero fucks. Basically, we're running clips and shit like that and being a little experimental, if you will.
The stench of their bodies was...
Damn, look at that. That's how dark that is.
Standing before me.
Yeah, it's what I refer to as black and white in color, right? It's all desaturated.
Like the Crow.
Yes.
Proyas.
When we turned around, everyone
Underworld.
was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death. But I'd never been so happy.
Nicholas Hoult here as Jonathan Harker. Although I don't know if they've... I got to look this up on IMDb and see if they changed the character names.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Of course, the great Willem Dafoe.
Is a force
Van
more
Helsing.
powerful than evil. Its desire is to consume all life on Earth. Only you can redeem us. He is coming.
There's our Renfield. I don't recognize the actor, though.
I've seen him before.
I think that's Don DeLuise. As Renfield.
Now, I love it when horror movies are released during Christmas time. I remember seeing actually Hellraiser 2, Hellbound, on Christmas or on around Christmas.
It's funny.
Yeah, awesome.
There is a devil in this world, and I have met him.
But you could never please me as he could. I'm ready.
Yo.
It just seems like he could get away with a lot more experimentation with Orlok more than he could with Dracula. You know what I mean? Like he could just do a lot more. You know, obviously it's Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it's like, I don't know. There's a lot you could do
Well, a knockoff of Dracula, right? Because we've had so many characters that aren't Dracula in name, but are basically Dracula. Like Count Yorga is like basically Dracula.
Yeah. Totally.
Right? And Barlow in Salem's Lot is basically Dracula.
Yeah. And Nosferatu, which is this. Like,
right, but that which really was just for legal reasons. It was because they didn't buy the rights, and like I said, ended up getting sued by Bram Stoker's widow, and she won, and they ordered prints of the film be destroyed, and luckily they weren't. Luckily some of them survived, so that's a cool thing. Anyway, it is, let's see, 12:25. My brain is slowly turning to Jello pudding. And before we sign off, we gotta talk to our boys. Matt, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube at Runecutter Comic, and if you guys want to check out my books, Butch Cleaver, they're at butchcleaver.com. On Fund My Comic, you guys could go over there. A lot of cool books. I think there's like 80. Also go back Psycho Slumber right now by Zaid Comics, and yeah, they always throw down. Those books are awesome. I'm also doing live streams on Saturday night at midnight on my show, Metal Movies and Brewskis Live. This week we're gonna be having a Russ Leach. He's talking about the Atlantean, which is also on. So if you guys haven't backed the Shadow Kingdom or fucking the Atlantean that just launched right now, go check it out. And Brian, thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude, thank you for hanging out. Yeah, boy. And Preston, tell these people where they can find you and your dope ass shit.
Here next Wednesday. I mean Thursday. No, you're doing a show next Thursday.
Right.
He's with Arctic Crown.
Thursday afterwards. Yep. And whatever you guys are doing, I need to send you a message. I was going to ask you to stay late, but it's fine. I'll send you a message.
We can talk after the stream. We can talk after the stream. That's all good. Go into the back rooms like we always do and conspire against our fellow indie creators. Sim, tell people where they can find you.
Any social media, type my name, you'll find me. Go check out inkslayerintertainment.com. And yeah.
And Pops, tell
people. Go
people
sign up to Blood Hunt 2.
Oh yeah. Blood Hunt 2, bitches.
I'm Pops Van Zandt, founder of the Madness Entertainment Group, and hopefully the spine, the backbone of what we're doing in getting these shows in as many places as possible. I want to thank everybody who tuned in over on Pilled, who tuned in on Rumble.
Hell yeah.
Just look, when you see that black thing on YouTube, just pop over to the Madness Comic Network on Pilled. Won't be nothing blocking your view. That's the best thing I can say to you.
Fuck yeah. And everybody, you can find me on the YouTubes, you can find me on the Twatters, and you can find me on the Facebooks. I'm not a hard guy to find. I'm cued into like most the social media. Actually, before we cut out, I want to run a little ad. Actually, that is a little something I just like put together. I want to start using maybe as like a bumper. So check.
Is this a new one?
Yeah, it's a new one. You guys can give me your opinion. If you enjoy this content and want to support this channel, the right way to do that is to back my comic book, Six Gun Gorilla: Long Days of Vengeance. The critically acclaimed tale of a very big ape with very big guns, blowing very big holes, and very bad people. I'm so confident that you're going to love this book, you can download the entire first issue for free. You can find it right now on fundmycomic.com. Too long, you think?
But you got to clean up them skips.
Yeah. Definitely gonna add a new music track. What do you think about the length? Do you think it's too long?
No, it's perfect, and I'm glad you put some words on there because not everybody that tunes in is always watching. Sometimes they're driving in their car and they're just listening to what everybody's saying. You know,
yeah, I do that a lot.
Trailers should always have a little some kind of voiceover telling you what it's about, just in case you're in the next room or something. You still
yes. Yeah, makes sense to me. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We really do appreciate you, all of our new viewers on Rumble and Pill. We also appreciate you. Spank that like button, hit the subscribe, ring a ding ding dong, the bell for the notifications. And Pops, are you taking us out or am I taking us out?
Yeah, I'm gonna take us out of here. I got this.
Okay, but fellas, we should meet like in a private room after this.
The Whisper Network lives.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Until next, well, actually, probably not next week. The week after next. Peace, love, and metal.
Metal.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they have just, I mean, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.